Hey guys, Natasha Tessier here, Dwell Realty and Design. I have a very special guest. I have my husband here. We thought today that we would go over the pros and cons of living in Texas. He's not from Texas, he's from Montana, but he's been here a long time, so we're gonna kind of talk through some things, right?
Sure.
So I would say a pro is that people are super friendly. Would you agree with me?
I would agree with you, yes.
Did that freak you out when you first moved here, or did you?
A little bit, but it grows on you quickly.
Yeah, that's one thing I notice with my clients is they're kind of freaked out at first,
Yes.
but then they kind of adapt to it. So like,
You initially think that it's insincere.
yes,
But you learn that it's
actually
genuine.
sincere. Yeah. So like people open up their garage and they're like,
Yeah.
hey, you want to come have a beer? Or just like tonight. We just had a friend come pick up their daughter.
And there were a few bourbons involved. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so another pro is, and I'm going to do a whole video on this, but like job opportunity, obviously like entrepreneurial, very, obviously we don't have the corporate taxes in the state and lots of people moving here. So we need more restaurants, hospitals, living. Construction is actually our biggest.
Very pro-business.
Yes. Do you have anything to add to that?
Very pro-business.
He's not good at YouTube. He's not very full of information. Okay, how about you can talk about this one. The third thing I thought was a pro is that there's good entertainment, like sports and...
Fantastic entertainment. So even though we live on the outskirts of Houston, it's a 45-minute drive and we're at an Astros game.
Yeah.
The Texans and other sports are there. It's very fun. But in Texas, high school sports are huge.
Yes.
And so the Friday night event is the local football game or, the baseball game, or where we are, the women's softball team is fantastic.
Yeah.
So, it's fun to watch those young athletes do what they do.
Yeah. And we were just talking about this, like at our high school, the softball team just won state. The baseball team went to state.
They're number one in the country too.
Okay. The baseball team was in the top.
Lake Creek, it's really good.
Okay. Top 5 or 6. The boys golf team won it. The girls golf team got 3rd place. The football team went like 13-1, 3 rounds deep, had the 2nd highest scoring offense in the state.
Sports are very important in Texas.
Yes, they are. But there's also other entertainment like the rodeo.
Yes, awesome.
Super fun. Water parks are really big here, like Schlitterbahn, and the one in Katy is huge. Lots of...
Our big water park is Lake Conroe, which is a big water park.
Yes, tons of lakes. That's other entertainment that people boat and fish. We have the bass fishing team. Concerts, like
Yes.
You've got tons of country concerts. You've got the Woodlands Mitchell Pavilion where they do concerts on the lawn.
But Texas is known for its dance halls.
Yes, that's true.
And these small, very quaint,
Like do-si-dos. And
very old school in some ways, places where you can go and you can see an artist perform, 20 feet in front of you and go dance and enjoy, and it's a very unique and very personal environment. It's really a joy to be around.
Fun date night.
Very much so.
Yeah. Another thing that I added is floating the river. So there's tons of rivers that people just get, drinks and snacks and all sorts of things, and they go out and they float the river, and that's super fun. So
it's important when you have to have a special inner tube just for your cooler. It's
yes.
great.
Yes. Okay, so something else I thought about with entertainment is like grilling, inviting people over to your backyard, like 9-10 months out of the year where we love to be outside, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
So compared to like the northern states where you can't, pretty much all year round we're outside, except for like July and August we have to be in the water to be outside. But everybody grills, has neighbors over, crawfish boils. What else?
And it's not unusual, it's expected, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's very neighborly.
Yes. And the other thing I think is cool for entertainment and stuff is being able to like hop on a cruise ship. I mean, we could drive 45 minutes, an hour, and be on a cruise ship to the Bahamas. And now I just read that they're adding cruise ships to Corpus. So it's very cool that you can go do all that.
They have a new bridge getting into Corpus that is going to allow cruise ships coming in. It's going to be a main port, which is really a cool thing.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so number 4 is talked about so many school choices. And with that, I meant public. There's a bunch of great schools. I talk about ours, Lake Creek, a lot, Montgomery, ISD. I like Lake Creek because we still say the pledge. We still pray before the football games. There's churches on every corner out here, but there's a lot of school choice. There's also a ton of really good private schools in the area. Some of our really good friends went to Woodlands Christian, and then homeschooling has gotten huge in Texas. And so lots of ways. And then all the colleges, you've got obviously private Baylor, you've got TCU, you've got A&M, UT, like tons of school options, right?
I think the predominant idea there is choice.
Mm-hmm.
You have options, and you have great options. So you're not cornered into a single option. You have good public options, you have good private options.
Yeah.
And you're not forced to make decisions because you're backed into a corner. You make a decision because it's what you and your family love. Totally.
I agree with that. Okay, so number 5, and this kind of talks about this before, but so many different places to worship. And that's not, I mean, we're Christian, but there's, I see Vietnamese churches. My dad's from Serbia. He goes to a Serbian church. Orthodox, yeah. There's
big
Hindu, there's Mormon. I mean, there's a lot of places to worship and a lot of diversity. And I think that's also really cool.
I think one of the big things too is Houston is known as the most diverse community in the United States.
Yeah.
So that's actually a really kind of a big deal.
Yeah. And people from all over.
Yeah.
Okay, then the next one I'm going to talk about are hospitals, which will be good. Most of ours operate off of like a PPO, correct?
HMO PPO.
Yeah. But we still have quite a bit of choice when it comes to hospitals for the most part, correct?
You do.
Yeah. And there's hospitals everywhere. So if you live in a major suburb, let's just say Sugar Land, Pearland, Cypress has a set of hospitals. Katy, Woodlands, Conroe. I mean, every one of those hospitals has a really large hospital. The Woodlands has like 5. I mean, it's got St. Luke's and Texas Children's and Herman and Methodist and all those. So lots of good medicine, lots of good specialties. Like, if I want to go to the dermatologist, I don't have to go into the city. Do you know what I mean? Like if you need a hand specialist, let's just say, because you're in orthopedics.
I have 2 that are in my group that are fantastic.
Yeah. But you're out Tomball, Cypress area. So somebody doesn't have to go, like I think in a lot of the other states, they have to go travel an hour and a half to get to a specialist, and here I feel like a lot of our suburbs have specialists within the suburbs. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's really cool. Okay, so the next one I would talk about, the pro, is the scenery. So I think that a lot of people think Texas is really ugly. And I think a lot of my clients are kind of surprised when they come and they see how green it is. And, Montgomery's still kind of got hills and tall trees, and the lake is very beautiful. But you also have like the hill country out in San Antonio, which is beautiful. Lots and lots of pretty areas of Texas that I don't necessarily love Galveston as much.
A lot of people do though.
But a lot of people do, and it's cleaned up a lot.
It's very nice.
I like to go a little further south, but lots of, you're near the ocean, you're near lakes, rivers, and I think it's a lot prettier, would you agree, than what people lay it out to be?
I think if you come from an area, like we came from out west, Colorado, Montana, you don't have mountains, right?
Yeah.
That's not the same scenery. You adapt to a different form of outdoor living, which involves more bayous and fishing and coastal
hunting.
Yeah, it's all the things that you can do in saltwater and on the coast that you couldn't do in the mountains.
Yeah.
So it's a different way of doing things, but it's still got the same vibe. It's still outdoors, and it's still enjoying the creation that God provided.
Yeah, for sure. And the bluebonnets are really cool. Like in the spring, I think that's kind of a wildflower. They're on all the highways. People take pictures all over the place.
I get forced to take pictures of them all the time.
Yes. Okay. Well, when the kids were smaller, not so much now, but
I mean, they're awesome for the women, I guess.
yeah, they're pretty to take pictures of. And one thing to add with the travel is we have tons of international airports all over the state. So you can kind of get to anywhere quickly, down to the Caribbean is a pretty quick trip.
Caribbean in 2 hours. Belize in 2 hours.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so we're going to talk about a few of the cons. The first thing is the weather.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Hurts.
Okay. When is it? Right now, it's not horrible.
Right now, it hurts.
It's humid.
I sweat.
But would you say, like, several months of the year, it's nice out?
Well, air conditioning is key.
Yes, it is. But from like mid-September till like the end of May, wasn't
good.
We're good.
Yeah, we're good.
June is
sweaty.
It's hot, but it's not. July and August to me are like
sweaty.
Yes. So what do you do to combat that? Like
swim in a lake or a pool.
Yeah, you don't want to be like going on a walk outside in July at 2:00 in the afternoon. But most of the year, do you think it's pretty? Like when it's, in the winter, it's cooler, blue skies, rains here and there.
During football season, it's awesome.
Yeah, it is. Once we get past like August, September. Yeah. Okay, so another con would be with that is flooding. I think people think everything floods here.
I mean, you're close to sea level, so.
Yeah, but I've never sold a flooded house.
I've never lived in a flooded house, so.
Yeah. And I mean, we as realtors know, like we can look up immediately if it's in the 100-year, the 500-year, look at the disclosures, has it ever flooded? So if you're looking at a house.
It's pretty well documented.
Yeah. And if you're looking at a house, would you ever buy in a floodplain?
No.
You wouldn't, because you don't have to.
No.
What if your dream house was like in a floodplain? It had everything you wanted. And
I'd build it up and live there.
Well, no, it's already built.
Mm.
Would you buy there?
I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe the 500, but probably not the 100.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there's so many great options.
Yeah, you could just go somewhere else. A lot of the flooded houses are sold to investors and they keep them as rentals and then it happens and they just rent it out again and whatever. All the new communities when it comes to flooding, like we lived in Wood Trace, which is a newer community during Harvey. Yes. Great spot. And those are, they are so engineered so well, all the newer communities.
The drainage was phenomenal.
Yeah. Nobody even had it on their lawns in Wood Trace.
No. It rained torrential rain for 2 weeks straight during Harvey, and we had no problem.
Yeah. You do, like they have to shut down roads, and when we get a ton of rain, they will shut down roads and things like that, but not crazy. Like, and a lot of the new neighborhoods, I feel like, because it's so engineered, are protected from that. And then up north, you have more tornadoes and stuff. So we have an occasional tornado, but
Oklahoma.
Yeah, up in Tornado Alley.
Not us.
I've never heard of anybody like dying or anything like that. Okay, so another con that people talk about are bugs and snakes. Do they bother you?
My sons are excellent at killing snakes.
Yeah, do the snakes? No, but we really don't see, like, have we seen a snake since we moved into this house?
This one?
Yeah.
No.
Like, I feel like, again, everybody thinks they're everywhere, and I've lived here my whole life. I've probably seen.
If you're around the water, especially bayous and marshes, you'll see snakes.
Yeah. Have you ever had somebody personally that get bit by a snake? Here?
No.
We did in Alabama.
Oh, yeah, Alabama. Yeah, no.
But
that was a copperhead.
Yeah. Yeah, and the bugs, like, I always laugh because everybody says the mosquitoes are bad, but when we go see your parents, the mosquitoes are bad.
Mosquitoes are not great.
Yeah. Well, they're everywhere, though.
You get a fan going and some citronella and you're good.
Yeah. Okay. The last thing is property taxes.
Could be better. Abbott and Paxton came up with plans in this session.
I know.
And they're going to maybe get rid of some property taxes.
Yeah. So what I know, and I put this on one of my shorter stories, but what I know about so far is they have proposed, it's made it through the House. They're supposed to know June 11th, which is Sunday.
Which is also your birthday.
But is it weird?
It's a big day.
Is it weird that they would know that on a Sunday?
Well, they planned it for you.
No, seriously though, like, I don't know. Anyway, supposedly Sunday, June 11th, they're supposed to know, which is just a few days. Actually, when this post, it'll already be passed. So if you want to know the answer to that, reach out because I'll be posting this video next week. But the proposed is that the rate that the school districts can charge you is going down. Your homestead exemption, they have to exempt $35,000 if they in the district. We are already at $40,000 in Montgomery, which is really awesome.
Montgomery's cool.
Yeah, they treat their people well. And then the biggest thing is that every year your taxes go up. So right now there's a limit of 10%. So if you own a $500,000 house, it can go up by 50 grand. The new proposition or proposed law is that they can only go up by 3.5%, which is really cool because because a lot of people, their taxes are getting too high and they can't, afford to live. So this is all to combat that. And then there's another one that I don't know as much about, but something about just trying to eliminate the school district taxes altogether.
Yeah, it's a bill I'm proposing.
No.
It's
no.
It won't pass.
No. Anyway, property taxes, that's a con, but we don't have corporate taxes for our businesses, which is one of my next videos. I'm going to talk about all the businesses moving to Texas, which is crazy. There are so many. And we don't have a state income tax. So a lot of people that I know are paying 8, 10, 12% in their state to the state income tax on top of the federal tax. We don't pay any of that. So usually it ends up better, but not always. I hope you enjoyed my guest. And if you ever have questions, please reach out, call, text, email, anytime. I hope was helpful and I hope you have a blessed night.
I'm from way up north and Texas is awesome.
Yeah, it is.